So when you end up with a lot of events, you actually kind of need to go through them. What kind of notes and process do you use to go through that? In this video, I'm going to walk through case management using ReflexSOAR. So let's take a moment and talk through case management within ReflexSOAR. Specifically, it's where you can take notes, work through tasks, assign various cases to different individuals, communication, and of course, track how things were closed. So you can report on, false positives, true positives, and other various aspects. But before you go into case management, there are a few things you probably should set up. One specifically is case templates. These are kind of guided processes. So you'll see here I've got a phishing analysis, and if I edit this, it has various tasks that I want us to go through. If we, looking at an event, we think it's related to phishing, do these things. And so what you can do is create a new case template and go through and create ones for various scenarios, like potential ransomware, right? And give it whatever description. You can give it tags, like I put ransomware, and that tag will auto assign itself to cases marked with this template. I'll show that here in just a second. We can also auto set severities and TLPs based on these templates, and I can add as many tasks as I want. From there, you could technically flip to cases and create a case from scratch, but what you're probably wanting to do is start with an event, something that piques your interest, that then flows into a case. You can automate that with event rules, and you can correlate those with things like intel lists. And if you're interested in doing that, check out the event rule video. But let's just jump to the queue for a second. I've got various alerts in my event queue, and if I want to work one of these, I would just select one or more. I'll just do this first one for now. Actually, let's do these two. And what I can then do is I can either merge them into an existing case or create a case. Now, I'm not actually going to work this as a case. I'm just kind of showing how this flow would work and what we're doing. So I'm going to create a case. I'm just going to put this is a video test case. I'm going to assign it the phishing template that I already had. Notice that auto appended the phishing tag because it pulled it in from that template. I'll assign myself as the owner. This is a test case. I'm just going to leave the default TLP severity. I could technically create an automatic event rule here so that things auto merge into this case if I know the logic on what's related. I'm going to skip that for now. I'm going to hit create. And what's going to happen is it's grabbing all the related events. Notice 1,300 events from what I was clicking on. It auto pulled in the tasks from the phishing template, and now it's here so that I can work on it. So if I flip over to events, these are the events that were related. Notice it's got things like their observables and tags. And if I flip to tasks, well, I have my tasks that I can then work on. For these, you could technically have different team members starting in parallel on different tasks, so you could work on this together. But the goal is they would hit play, as in I'm starting this task, which auto assigns it to whoever clicked on it. And then they can click this, go back over here. Then they can click on view notes and start working on their notes. It's like looked into the original email and performed header analysis based on this, I don't know, XYZ, so on, right? Save my note. Maybe I'm complete, so I'll mark it as complete. Yes. And my ongoing history will be tracked here. These are the steps that happen. I can go over to comments and just put generic comments here. Markdown is supported here. Test comment. And as I work through this, everything that's happened is getting tracked in that history tab, all in that little timeline view. On the off chance that 2 or more cases were created and you find out that, oh, these are all related events, well, at that point you could go ahead and relate the cases to each other, or you could try to take the events out of one and merge it into whatever master case you want. So hopefully you've got some capabilities within the case management for tracking, correlating events, and working through these. On the same token, you can go over to case details, obviously close out the task, put in your reasoning, and you can change the reasoning so you can have custom reason codes, and your comments. And then when it's closed, it will no longer appear in the default view because you're only looking at new cases. So within ReflexSOAR, just kind of recapping here, you want to use cases probably with some case templates. I would not recommend trying to have thousands or even hundreds of these. Try to have some really good higher level ones that are general workflows for common things like phishing, ransomware, etc. Once those case templates are there, then start to train your users. When do they get added to cases? Not everything has to be a case, because you might triage things in the event queue, and you can, again, when you dismiss or work with these, you can put comments and track those. So I tend to use initial triage into the event queue, and only when something actually merits a more full-fledged investigation do I tend to add them in cases. Once they're in cases, though, you might want to make that kind of automatic. Certain criteria, you might have event rules that place them and merge them into cases. So there's a lot of capabilities in there. Check out the ReflexSOAR case management.